As long as any man could guess which animal this skin came from, the king promised to give his daughter's hand in marriage. The first man carefully examined the skin, running his hand over it. After plucking a single hair, he felt certain he knew the answer. "This is pig skin," he declared. The king shook his head. "No," he said. Another man brought out a magnifying glass and inspected the skin closely. "This is the skin of a tree spirit," he said confidently. Once again, he was wrong. The princess breathed a sigh of relief. She wasn't fond of this man. Next, a handsome man stepped forward. The princess smiled brightly, clearly pleased with him, but after examining the skin, he said it was a giant manatee. He too guessed wrong. The princess was deeply disappointed. If this kept up, she might never get married. Just then a barbarian burst in. He merely sniffed the skin and in the next moment declared it flea skin. The king was stunned. Although the princess didn't approve of the match, for the sake of his authority and reputation, the king allowed the barbarian to take her away. The barbarian then took the princess on a long, grueling journey, crossing mountains and scaling cliffs. Eventually, they arrived at his luxurious villa, where animal remains were scattered around. After a quick cleanup, the barbarian forced the princess to sleep with him. She wept every day, her heart heavy with despair. Before long, the princess's clothes were utterly filthy. While the barbarian went hunting, she heard someone singing outside. Desperate to escape, she ran to the edge of a cliff and saw a woman across there. She begged the woman to rescue her, but with dozens of meters between the cliffs, the woman said she was powerless. The princess immediately exclaimed that if she stayed any longer, she would surely die. Feeling pity for the princess, the woman promised to send her son to rescue her the next day. That night, the wild man would place his hands on her, which she found extremely repulsive, and she longed for these days to be over. The next day, the woman's son, who worked in a circus, indeed came to save her. Mike carried the princess and used a tightrope walking technique to get her to safety, but at that moment, the wild man discovered them. He climbed along the wire with his hands. Mike quickly drew a small knife and cut the wire with all his strength, sending the wild man tumbling off the cliff. The princess then left with Mike's circus, perhaps the happiest moment she had experienced in days. But unexpectedly, the wild man hadn't died. He climbed onto the carriage and punched Mike square in the face.